I only want to rap to diss people. That's all.
That's the part of the sport that people don't. I think that they take for granted now.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'm not doing back and forth. We going in the
But
streets. No, it's about
that's
who's better
also
lyrically.
Yeah.
That's also because they're sensitive. Like
and then the thing
feelings
was,
be hurt when people say stuff about each other. I'll be laughing at everything somebody say about me.
a lot of the beef stuff, all it just is behind the scenes. It is acting, and it is to uplift another musician. So, like,
Right.
you could be an up and comer, and like if you hear something from, like, let's say Busta Rhymes or 50 Cent or something like that, and people are like, "Yo, nigga, you gonna respond? You gonna respond? You gonna respond?" People are waiting to hear what you're going to respond with, be it good or bad. You're still getting your name out there. Number one, you showing you ain't no bitch, and number two, they're like, okay, you gonna clap back.
You gotta think
but
about
you gotta do it in a perfect time too.
Nas went at Jay-Z's jugular in Ether, and they was still able to squash it. It wasn't never no point that we thought they was gonna go back shooting, but Nas was really being extra disrespectful. He said, "You a fake, a phony, a pussy, a stand. Eminem killed you on your own shit." Like, he was just like.
Also, that's another thing too. To Eminem, black rappers be acting like they scared of that nigga.
Well, I mean, Eminem is just albino at this fucking point.
They be acting like they scared of him.
Listen to that.
Game killed him. No.
Diss him.
Game killed him. No, with his own style. If you hear that diss, and people was hating on it, like, have you heard his diss? Game's diss on him?
You said
this like. Yeah. It was the only one that I was like, okay, somebody actually went at him like you should go at him.
MGK went at him, but they drove.
We don't talk about MGK.
No, we don't talk about him. He tries too much. He said something about his daughter, and then like,
Rap Devil was actually pretty good though.
No, regardless of what he said, he did it. A lot of these niggas will not do it.
The rap thing, I will admit, MGK was good, but when he started bringing up Eminem's little girl, I'm like, nope. You already know. Rule number one, don't talk about someone's family. Number two, don't talk about daddy's daughter.
Hey,
that's going to bring out some demons.
That was the end of Ja Rule's career right there, because 50 by himself, they could have went back and forth for a little while. But Ja said that one line about his daughter. He said, "Your mama's a crackhead and Kim is a known slut. So what you think Haley gonna be when she grows up?" It's
over. Like, mine.
That was the end of that one right there.
I would literally go at. I don't care. Nobody's up for this.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your man Royalty. We're here today.
And I'm the Sensual Genius.
And welcome to another episode of the Royal Genius Podcast,
where we take a look at things affecting the Black community from a sociological and psychological lens.
Plus, we always keep it real. Today's topic of discussion is going to be conspiracy theories. Everybody loves a good conspiracy theory, right?
Right. So. We're going to be talking about this with Bert, Curator, and hopefully William. We don't know what happened.
Curator, you're talking with neurosis.
But we're going to kick this episode off by going to the first segment, which is What's Your Theory segment, with this question. What was the first conspiracy theory you were exposed to, and how old were you when it happened? Anybody can answer first.
9/11 was an inside job.
That was the first.
Oh yeah, that's the only one I cared about because it was my birthday.
Ew.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a Virgo.
That's a terrible birthday to have.
Oh, trust me, a lot of my fans, ask my sign too. I'm like, what do you want him to be?
How old were you?
Not what you wanted to be.
Oh, shit. Third grade. What age is that?
Oh wow, you were a kid,
man.
Yeah, I was in. Wait, how old are you? I was in. I think I was probably around. I was in like 5th grade.
I was in high school.
I was in 6th grade when 9/11 happened.
Like, you was in 6th grade, so yeah.
Yeah, I was like 11, I think.
I was in the same grade as Curator.
Yeah,
Probably.
Y'all were babies.
For real.
We were.
I was in high school. That's why I said a lot of people in my school was ready to go to war.
Mhm.
I'd rather be a baby. I get more mommies.
Spicy.
I don't think I like mommies. I don't like the daddies neither.
Fluoride in your water was meant to kill people.
That was the first one.
That was the first theory that I dealt with.
And how
So,
old
you know,
were you?
I think I was like 5 or 6. Yeah. So, like, what had happened was, I know in Kansas in particular, like the Arkansas River and a couple of sources that we drink water out of were like thoroughly polluted. And so they put a lot of minerals and stuff in there to actually treat the water to make it drinkable. Fluoride being one of those components that go in there to actually get all the cooties out so people don't get like, you know, nasty shits and vomit and all that other stuff. And honestly, like when you drink water out of a bottle and everything, it goes through a similar filtration process as well. And the fluoride actually has a benefit of, you know, helping harden your enamel and everything too. So it's not as bad as people think. Yeah. Now, ideally, that all natural sourced water is a good thing to have and everything, but we live in a day and age where if you're thirsty and you need to be hydrated, it's okay to have the electrolytes and everything else added in there to make sure that you're on the up and up.
That's true. And I definitely drank me some electrolytes because regular water does not work a lot of the time.
And a lot of people don't just like the taste of normal water either.
True.
Yeah.
I love me some water though.
Mhm.
Speaking of water, y'all need to drink more water.
I do. And I put these little cartridges on here to make it taste better too. So
Okay,
like I think I got kiwi lime in there or something.
But okay, so for me, conspiracy theory, it was like 3 that it comes to mind, and 2 of them like had to do with famous people, and it was stupid when I was a kid. So the first one that was all around the same time was about Little Kim.
What?
That
she's a man.
No, the other one has to do with somebody that was supposed to be a man. But the first one I heard when I was little was that Little Kim had given fellatio to Big and Diddy for so long, so much that she had drank so much of their semen.
My God, I
that
heard
she passed
that
out.
too. No, they said that she had to get her stomach pumped or something like that.
Bro, this is before the internet. How did this rumor spread?
It was before the internet.
How did we all hear the same thing? Like you in South Carolina and me in California. How did you hear that?
Yeah,
I ain't heard this shit before.
Her stomach pumped. Like what?
No, she would have just puked it up or something.
They said she passed out on stage and everything.
Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing.
Our stomachs are really like you have to ingest a lot of anything for that to happen.
Especially semen. How much semen them niggas got?
Come on,
it'd be about 3 fluid ounces.
I mean, you would just think she'd puke it up at that point, though.
Right.
If it got to a certain threshold.
That's disgusting.
But I remember that. Dang, you just brought back a memory.
But there's a fun fact. Pigs release 16 fluid ounces, which is 1 bottle of water.
That's nasty.
And the pig's orgasm lasts for like 30 minutes if we're going to go on that whole thing, too, I believe.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
what?
what?
1 whole bottle.
Excuse me, what? Lasts for 30 minutes?
A pig's orgasm?
Bro, I would be dead.
Low key, that's so
30 minutes, bro.
Yeah. When a pig finally gets happy, it's like 30 minutes of that.
The second conspiracy theory was that Sierra was a man.
Remember that too.
Stupid.
But you didn't hear that one either.
It's all around the same time, so I can't remember which one was first. And then the third one was the same one the Curator had, that 9/11 was a inside job. And people were like, this is like early internet around that time where people were like kept rewinding the video. Look, there's no way that the tower could have fit in from the.
Yeah, bro.
I was just like, oh my God, are you stupid? Are you?
Yeah, I heard so many theories on that as well for 9/11, but
I was coming on like, where's Toonami?
Right.
Ruined my birthday.
Wow.
yeah.
The first one I heard was that about Santa Claus, that he was real.
He's as real as you want him to be. It's just, now we have to go on Amazon and get things because our
Really,
parents
my
won't.
mama never told us that, by the way. Like, she was like, I buy these gifts. Y'all get these from me. Ain't no white man bringing y'all no gifts.
Oh, Santa was black in our house.
Well, I live in the South. The deep South.
Mm-hmm.
Where every magical creature was white.
So where did the theory come from? Was it from like media, like watching like movies and stuff?
That he was real? Literally, if I say this in the family group chat, my aunt will argue with me down. Like, what do you mean? There's some people who like die hard. Like, it's like they need to believe it. Like, she be getting mad at me for saying a lot of stuff that don't be true. I'll be like, bro, it's not that deep. It's like he's not real. You've never seen this man before.
He's a ninja. What are you talking about? He's a black ninja.
And I'll say, aside from that, I'll say the Illuminati.
The what?
Illuminati. And I think
I
I was in high school with that one. That was like the most memorable one for me.
That's when I hear that people start saying that I gotta walk out the conversation. I'm just
oh shit. See, Santa's black.
Well, I feel Santa is whatever color you need him to be, I guess.
Exactly.
He might be a crackhead too, for all we fucking know as well, because he's breaking into people's houses and stuff, just dropping shit in.
And why is that so acceptable? I never understood that. This random man coming in, just because he brought you some gifts, it's okay.
And he eats shit, like he eats your cookies and everything. Ugh.
A creepy man coming into your house at night, and the only thing he does is leave presents under the tree. Nah, man.
And you good? And you okay with it? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, he left me a Dreamcast, so I can't really complain that much about it. But whatever.
Classic system, by the way.
Oh hell yeah! Also, one of the only ones that you can just burn CDs with the games on there and just play them.
Facts.
Yes, I boosted up my collection drastically. I will say the only flaw it has is the controller. Microsoft, when they did the Xbox, actually improved it, but just because it wasn't ergonomically friendly originally, and then also the thumb nubs and the D-pad were hard as hell. You had a lot of blisters when you played Arcade Fighters with it if you weren't careful. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, definitely a classic if you haven't got into it. And then I think Retrobit Fighters have made improved controllers for it recently.
Do you still have one?
Yeah, it's up here in the home office.
I swear, I wanna get me a Nintendo 64.
And there's also a community out there that has brought back a lot of the games that were online play. And so, there's a lot of people out there that play Phantasy Star online. I need to get me a Raspberry Pi to make me a modem that acts as a dial-up modem to make it work, though. I just haven't fixed one up yet.
I love the tech savviness. Like, I don't know what you were talking about, but it sounds right.
Yeah, it's a little single board computer that you program and code to make it work as something else. And you put it in a case and you put a phone line to it, plug it into the modem on the Dreamcast, and then it turns your wireless signal into a slower speed similar to dial-up so you can play online. Yeah, so it's a little bit of coding, but it ain't that bad.
Welcome back, William. We started the episode.
Welcome back, William.
I was about to say, I was wondering if y'all realized I left.
Yeah, we did.
We definitely did.
You actually still in time though for that question. If you
cause we just started. What was the first conspiracy theory you were exposed to, and how old were you when it happened?
Well, I would say the first conspiracy theory that I found out about was the whole Illuminati thing.
Yeah,
same. Jay-Z and all of them, yeah.
Same.
And I was probably about 21. Yeah,
That's the first?
I think so because I wasn't really into that stuff growing up.
It was the same for me too. That was the first one that I was exposed to. Like I said Santa Claus because to me that's a conspiracy.
Okay, well, if we're talking about that, then yeah, Santa Claus definitely. And I was probably like about 10 years old when I found out because I saw my parents hiding my gifts.
We was not about to believe nothing about no dang Santa Claus. So Mama didn't have no choice. It would have been a waste of time for her to try to get us to believe that. It was
For
not
one,
going
I
to
never
happen.
seen the nigga before, so that's one way I knew.
Right.
What, you were expecting to see that nigga at a cookout or something like that?
Like,
He probably was staying up late trying to see if
as
he
a,
was gonna...
as a kid, you wait. You know what I'm
You
saying?
take the whole tray. You don't take the plate.
He ain't never show up. And then on top of that, the only time I knew about seeing him was going to the mall and taking pictures with him as a kid. Only saw him at the mall.
I didn't want to do that.
Which also didn't make sense because if he was supposed to be mysterious, why was he at the mall?
Yeah, why was he just chilling at the mall taking pictures with niggas? Like,
Kid logic did not make sense.
To me, I peeped the game. I was like, ain't no way.
So you remember when people were worried about kids getting napped, and now we're taking kids and putting them on a stranger's lap?
Exactly.
Well, and did you all know about Santa Claus's evil cousin Krampus?
Ooh, I love Krampus.
Oh yeah.
I love Krampus.
He lives in Bulgaria, Germany.
You're about the biggest asshole yet, so there's gonna be a big old black monster that's gonna put you in a bag and beat the shit out of you.
Love him. I love him for that reason. That makes more sense. That makes more sense.
I found out because of American Dad.
There you go.
I watched that movie every year. Every year I watch it faithfully. I hate Christmas movies, but I will watch that. And I like horror Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Black
like
Christmas too. I love that one too.
So like here in Virginia in Norfolk, they do Krampusnacht every year, right? They actually have like 2 or 3 events where they do it, and it's like one week after the other. Oh yeah. And the first week of December, they have a Krampusnacht parade in the middle of the night, like on the Neon District. It's fucking awesome.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. I took my son to it one year. He was freaking out when a giant demon handed him candy and everything.
Man, I would love that.
Yeah, that was probably dope.
We do Christmas a little differently in the Jones clan. I'm just gonna say that now.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That is dope. I would much rather have had that than Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I'm huge on horror, so yeah.
I love Christmas horror movies, even if they stupid. I'm watching. But you want to read the next question, Royal?
Oh, I don't have it pulled up, but I can't pull it up. I have you read it, and I'll just do the one after that.
Okay. What's your view of conspiracy theories in general?
Motherfuckers got bored.
I was thinking the same thing. They was bored as hell and just came up with some shit.
You gotta look at the source. Like, if you're on reservation, a lot of them are coming from your uncles, and it is where all the old heads who've been sitting around drinking and smoking too long. And like, oh, the white man's coming. He already came. We're here. Look at me. I'm fucking this pale now. Kept the hair though.
You know, I feel like they come from a dislike of an ideal, right? And I also feel like they come from a lack of understanding in a lot of cases. So when you find people that talk about aliens, and yeah, we've recently found out from the government that they're real and stuff, but them probing you in the arse like years ago and stuff like that, there might have been some lost in translation stuff that went on there.
Nah, these kids are kinky now.
Pretty much.
You know what?
Everybody's into butt stuff, but they can't eat a fucking Whopper with onions on it. Never understood it.
So they be challenging some of us, like, what can I get her to say no to?
Safety word. What's my safe word?
Why was that the thing that they thought about?
Right.
Yeah, probe you in the butt.
Sticking something up your ass. Yeah.
I agree with
camp.
Bert that it comes. I think it comes from a lack of understanding, and so you want to fill in the gaps with something that you don't understand. So you make up something. This sounds like it could possibly be possible, and then you get a whole bunch of other people that, you know what, that sounds like it could be true. That's
I honestly like them. Sometimes some of them I like. It's cool. Like let's use our imaginations here. That's the only time people really use their imaginations, when they got a conspiracy theory
my
to
opinion.
present.
Is in general, they're a good thing unless you have facts out about something and you decide to listen to the conspiracy theory instead of the actual facts. Like there's the whole story's here, but you decide to listen to something else. What's wrong with you at that point?
Or make it up.
Right.
I also think too, because there always needs to be a villain. I feel like for us to make sense of things, so we won't like deal with what the truth actually is, we have to create a villain. There always has to be a villain, because somebody got to be doing something behind the scenes because of this stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it just be people that look like you that be doing stuff.
Yep.
I can agree with that. What better way to make understanding of something than causing a little bit of fear and discontent, you know?
Right.
Now, if you grow in a more tribal or spiritual kind of settings, you grow up with spirits and all these things just being part of our natural world, and so these things being in the sky, not a big jump,
not a big deal, because I've seen some things.
Hell, this is the one I always bring up. I want to know how every reservation has a Catholic church.
Because during the time frame when you had colonizers coming in there, they brought Catholicism in with you.
They will keep bringing them all the way up to the 70s.
That's a common thread to a lot of stuff in society is colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
All of it ties back to colonialism.
During that time frame, there were a lot more Catholics in America, and so whenever they would come into a reservation, they would do that. That was the main push.
The entitlement.
And going further back, if you look at Islam and the different rebellions and everything that happened too, like after you had the expansion of Islam, you had the expansion of the Roman Catholic Church when they would come into like different countries and try to bring their religion in there. And those practices were still brought up into, even Europe. You had like, I grew up Episcopalian and, Catholic light basically. But even then, like when it came to England and stuff, their foundational Christian sect was Catholicism. It was just the king at the time did not like the rules of, divorce and other things in there. And he's like, screw it, I'm going to make my own thing. And that's how that form of Christianity came up. But a lot of settlers, because of free religious practice and moving to a different country, they would bring what they liked to the other country. And that's how America got Catholicism.
Y'all realize that religion is a common thread in everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This is why, a lot of natives end up marrying into Haitian families.
Yeah.
Me and Boonie have talked about this before.
Yes, we have.
And I was with a Haitian for over 5 years.
My family has Haitian immigrants in it. What up?
Same.
You want to move to the
I have
next
Asian
segment?
background in my family as well. But yeah, we can move to the next segment.
You want me to say this one?
Yeah, you go ahead.
The next segment is the Hear Me Out segment. What's a conspiracy theory you absolutely hate or don't believe?
I already know what Roy gonna say.
Go ahead, say it.
The Illuminati.
Yeah.
He literally hate that. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard about the Illuminati, I rode that wave. Not as I believe it. It was so interesting to me. Bro, I'm taking in all of the information. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Like it was so interesting to me.
I promise you, that's the one Illuminati. When somebody says it, like I tune out of the conversation. I've literally walked away before. I walked in the room and they was talking about that. Like before I went to the bathroom and then I came back and they were talking about that. I just left.
Because especially when they be blaming like, oh, this person died. Oh, if they get like, for instance, the DC Young Fly thing, him losing his partner and them saying, oh, he sacrificed her. If he gets big, he sacrificed her or whatever. That's the conspiracy theory that I don't like. somebody's selling other people's soul, or you selling your soul like
There's
literally.
13 years, sold my soul down in Louisiana.
Yeah, them meaning it literally, like you're selling your soul, making a deal to get these things or whatever. That's the one that I hate, because it's like, one, if that was a real thing, a lot of us wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we'd all at some point get sacrificed for something.
Especially us. Okay. Yeah. We wouldn't be here.
And the amount of success is not like,
it's not worth
it. Doesn't match. Like, what are you talking about? So you sold it to get a couple of million and go broke? Because a lot of people that say Illuminati go broke a couple years later. So you sold it for 15 minutes of fame. What
they do? They sold to the devil. And also, if that was a thing, I don't think you would be able to sell somebody else's soul. There has to be rules with things, even things like that. You can't sell somebody's.
You have to pay up at some point,
right? Somebody else's soul. I don't think that's a thing that can happen.
There's people that swear by it, and you cannot tell them anything different, and the justifications for it sound idiotic, so I can't stand it.
The people who be like we was talking about the videos, they look at the music videos and they point out all of the symbols and stuff.
Oh my God, or the black and white stuff for the water, like being tied to the whatever, what was it? Aquafina or something like that. Yeah, I've heard all that too.
Or play this song in reverse. You hear the hidden message?
You hear the hidden message. Oh,
no.
Say this?
I have tracks I made with hidden messages in it when you played in reverse, just because of that shit. Because it's funny.
That's funny if you actually try to do it. But there's like, I can't remember one of them, but it was a Beyonce song.
And
they kept making it up. Like, bro, that is not what you are hearing stuff. Like, I think you are.
Oh, did you remember the one, the 619 song with Fetty Wap, and they were saying that he said he sold his soul at the beginning? He did not say that.
No matter how many times you put it on repeat.
He did not say that, bro. Like, they just be coming up with
my fucking jam. I don't remember that.
Even if somebody decided to do that, do you think that they would put the message in the song?
And I think people now, some celebrities, they just feed into it. They be trolling because they know that that's going to give them attention. Right.
I fucking troll on it.
I would too. Oh yeah. Especially the Illuminati one. Let somebody say I did it.
The Illuminati paid for my Taco Bell while I was in the studio. There you go.
Me and Boonie had a whole conversation about this. How petty
coming up with a set, bro. Make up rumors about me. I'm trolling you every time.
Right.
It's fucking publicity right there. That's all that is.
Exactly.
So anybody else could answer the question too? Whoever wants to go next.
One that you absolutely hate or don't believe.
Well, I tell you the thing that turned me off from the whole Illuminati thing. So I was watching this video on YouTube because I have a cousin who got me into it. Like, he was the reason why I even started watching videos about Illuminati and stuff like that. So I saw this thing where they were talking about how Kim Kardashian and her family's faces changed over the years. And I'm like, yeah, of course they did, because they had plastic surgery.
They was blaming the Illuminati for that?
Yes, they were. They were saying that they're clones. And that's why they changed.
Oh, that's another one too. Gucci Mane is a clone. That's another one that be pissing me off.
Yeah.
Tupac's still alive.
He lost weight and got himself together.
And changed his life, and they're saying he a clone because he changed his life. That is crazy.
He just got himself together. That's all he did.
Gucci not even the same. I like the old Gucci. I'm like, you literally could not understand what he was saying.
People be tripping.
I loved him back then too, but like, you literally, his music has gotten a lot better than it was.
I absolutely could not stand him before, and actually now I could tolerate his music, but before it was just like,
before he went to jail, he was like, what the hell? Then he came back and he was articulating. You can understand him.
Now they talk about he cloned. What's the agenda? What was is the agenda for his clone? To show people to make a change in their lives after the things that he did?
Yeah, they said
That's the
Eminem is a
agenda.
clone as well. I'm like, no, the dude is just a beast. Doesn't make him a clone.
Exactly.
Crazy. You want to read the next question, or you want me?
You can read the next one.
What's the worst or most outrageous conspiracy theory you've heard? I feel like that kind of goes with the one you hate or don't believe, but the most outrageous conspiracy theory. Do y'all remember the conspiracy theory about the Freemasons?
Yeah.
What
It
about
kind of goes. It kind of goes into the Illuminati too. Like pretty much that they were a cult, and like they were devil worshippers and stuff like that, Satanists, and they were in a cult or whatever.
Yeah, I heard about it. My dad actually got they tried to invite him to be a Mason, but he said no.
Because of that?
No, he just said he didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Like it wasn't no conspiracy. He just said he didn't want to do it.
Nah, I'm good.
Two of my uncles were in the Freemasons.
I have a couple of friends who are in it, but I, of course, have no affiliation with it. And of course, some of my TikTok followers are Masons as well. Cool guys.
I never really learned what they really are, what they do, but that was one of those ones that was like outrageous to me. Not the most outrageous, but
from my understanding, it's more of like a fraternity outside of college type situation where you got each other's back type of thing. In most circumstances, where they got like little hand signals and stuff, you help your friend out type thing. Where we got that same connection. So
basically, men that help each other out is a conspiracy.
No, anything that involves people combining like joint efforts and everything and building friendship and camaraderie, that's always weird to people.
Well, like what?
What these niggas doing dressing up in suits and everything?
Yeah.
Why are they meeting up in a building and actually like going through like rituals and stuff like that? It must be a conspiracy. They must be trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
Coming together to get stuff done is a conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Oh, hell yeah.
The most outrageous one that I've ever heard was one of the ones. I heard a lot of ones, but during COVID, when they were saying that the 5G towers were the cause of COVID.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you was going to talk about the vaccine that had this chip in it that had this tracking device.
That one too, yeah.
Shit.
I'm like, bro, the tracking device is right here. They do not.
They don't need to give you anything else. This is on you all the time.
Your father chimed in. You got a fucking tracker in your phone.
Get the COVID vaccine. It's going to kill off all the black people. You have melanin in your system, so that's going to keep you from getting COVID. All that shit.
It was a lot of that too. I'm not taking the COVID. I'm not in black. I heard somebody that I was associated with said that black people could not get COVID because we have melanin.
I got COVID twice.
I'm like, so why are people dying from it?
Right.
Oh, this is making it up.
I got COVID twice. I don't know what they were talking about at all. I'm like, I'm black as hell. I'm like, what?
Like, what is? It just be some stupid stuff.
I feel like the 5G one was so outrageous. I feel like somebody saw them building an extra tower in their neighborhood, and they were like, and we're all getting sick.
I was so happy to get 5G because like it allowed me to stream games on my phone. I'm like, bet.
Y'all worry about the wrong things, like
everything.
If they could electronically send a signal to create a disease, then we have gone way past in the future than I think. Like, but we're not remotely even close to there yet. Biological weapon has to be dropped into like the air type of thing if they're going to do something like that. That would have made a whole lot more sense that COVID came from a biological weapon or something like that.
Now, do I feel like they be messing with stuff and then they be making mistakes and they be outbreaks? Yes.
Of course.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
But do I feel like they just out here coming in the neighborhoods and putting stuff out? Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, that's absolutely possible, but we're not there
yet.
Well, technically, if we want to go into a real life conspiracy / real life situation, if you look at Tuskegee, Alabama during like the World War II with the Tuskegee Airmen, the Tuskegee trials that they did where they were injecting Yeah, where they were injecting brothers and sisters with syphilitis, causing them to actually go through issues and dying off and everything just to see the effects of it.
Mhm.
That technically was probably where the scare for the COVID vaccine was going. But if
And
you
I
look
think
at it as an international effort where everybody was trying to get it, chances are they ain't trying to kill people off. They're trying to control something.
right.
They were trying to keep people from getting COVID or getting it as severely. And I admit, like when I got the COVID vaccine, I got the Johnson & Johnson, so I got the one shot and I was done with it. But like
Oh, you
the
got the
day
99-cent
after,
store version of the vaccine, bro?
I mean, basically, I mean, if you look at it, like what happened was a lot of people were getting like the Moderna and the Pfizer thing that I knew, where you had to get the 2 shots, and usually the first shot you were fine, but then the second one, all shit hit the fan. You got sick and
Oh,
tired
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
Oh
But
yeah,
like
I
the
got
Johnson and
sick for
Johnson
sure.
one that they did, you got 1 shot, you went through the side effects, and after the weekend you were fine. The shot I got on a Friday. And then like Saturday and Sunday, I just basically spent all day recouping. I felt like death hit me and everything. I went to a
Yeah.
bar and I was like leaning on the bar stool and stuff. I was like, yo,
'Cause
luckily I don't got to do this
even
again.
if you don't get the crazy side effects, like the fatigue that came with that shot was crazy.
Yeah.
So I had that. I have sickle cell, so I had that, and I had chest pains.
Oh, I had the
I ended up
fever and the
getting,
headache and just I was drained all day, muscle aches
and
and
I was
sore.
tired too. I didn't have to go to the emergency room, I don't think, but I definitely had chest pains.
Ugh.
I
Sorry you went through that.
didn't like. I understood people that didn't want to take the vaccine, but I never thought that it was like a conspiracy that they were trying to harm people. My issue with taking it was something different. You know, I was just like, I feel like there hasn't been enough time for the studies to be right. Like, we need to. This came a little bit too
And it
fast.
wasn't, but
It
they
wasn't
also
enough time.
couldn't. They also
And that's
couldn't help it
exactly
because of
why I
how it
waited.
spread.
Yeah.
I
The
waited
J&J,
I waited a while too before I got it.
yeah, the J&J one was the latest of the 3 that came out. And you know, it followed the same formula as everything else. It was just more concentrated. So I think what happened was Moderna and Pfizer were out for about 3 or 4 months before I even decided, you know what, I guess it's now time to do it because my insurance provider said it's free if I get it. And I ended up going to Isle of Wight, which is like fucking hour and a half away because they had the only CVS that gave the J&J. Scheduled it in there, got pricked, and called it good. And then, of course, got the card and everything too, which I don't even know where it's at. I think it's in the coffee table up here.
Yeah, I had to get 2 shots because I got the Pfizer, if I'm not mistaken.
Funny part is Pfizer is the same company that makes Viagra. So you got the Viagra shot.
That is why.
Not that I needed.
I got the Pfizer.
I'm good at that part. Pfizer's being sued right now too, actually, but it's on a international scale. There's something else.
So
that must be.
But I was joking around with people on that shit, going like, you know, Pfizer.
I'm also a person who gets vaccines all the time because I'm sick, so I know how vaccines work. You're gonna get side effects.
Yeah,
it's supposed to happen. You're not gonna not have any side effects. Something you're gonna get something from them because it's your body reacting to it going in your system.
It's a live virus being injected into you. It's just a controlled version of it.
Right. That's what a shot is, vaccine is. So when people say that you're right, they are giving us the virus, but it's not for what y'all are saying it's for.
Exactly.
It's so our body can build up natural defenses against it.
I think it was a big fear, but during COVID, people had nothing but time to think about the most wildest shit that they could think of. And so they made up all of this crap. Like, it's just like, bro, like some of the stuff was making sense, but a lot of
weird stuff that happened during COVID.
A lot of weird stuff. People made up all of this stuff about these vaccines. Oh, this is this, and this. Like, if you would have paid attention to the actual facts, there's some stuff that you could have made up. Like, I have a theory about some stuff that actually could possibly be true about COVID, and people might consider it conspiracy, whatever, but I feel like the Chinese government was trying to make something and somebody made a mistake because they will not allow even the Chinese government to go investigate there. They will not allow anybody to go investigate Wuhan, period. You can't come there and investigate nothing. You can't ask nobody nothing.
Well, and the worst part
I do
is like
feel like they do be doing stuff and making mistakes.
every country has some type of like virus containment area where scientists go in there and everything, and it becomes like a live. Like if anything goes wrong in that area, no one can go in there. Like for instance, here in America, the CDC has virus containment centers like in Galveston, Texas, and a couple of other places. When there's like a big old flood or a tsunami disaster or something in those areas, they ain't gonna let anyone in there because like you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. But they're not going to tell like the general public that either.
Exactly.
They're just going to let you know it's off limits.
I also feel like the government is the reason why a lot of that stuff was coming out, because the way that they handled COVID was irresponsible. The way that they handled the whole thing, also Trump being president during that time,
that was all 45.
The way that they handled it, that's why a lot of the people were talking about stuff, because they handled that junk terribly. And then blamed everything on Dr. Fauci after everything blew over.
Yeah, because he's the figurehead of the CDC. Of course, he's going to be the fall guy.
But it's more people. When he was the fall guy, I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Right. When he had no control over it either. I mean, yes, the CDC could have handled it better. Said, yeah, there's a deadly virus that could possibly take out God knows how many people. In my family alone, my cousin and her husband at the time, they went up from Texas, but his family had COVID. And then they spread it to all my family in Kansas, and we lost like 5 people in my clan because of COVID. And I will tell you, that was like the worst COVID containment because I couldn't fly home. I couldn't go to funerals. I couldn't do anything. So I was out here in Virginia dealing with the on time, every couple of minutes news status, like in my smart house with like freaking, Stadia going and getting a text message like so-and-so died, so-and-so's like, coded or something. It was rough.
That was the worst part of it. That's why those conspiracy theories were annoying, because people were literally losing people for real. Y'all are making light of this situation, and y'all are saying this stuff when people are dealing with their relatives dying.
Yeah,
but they didn't care until it hit them. Just like these preachers and everything. This one preacher was like, COVID is fake until he died from it. And actually, that's one of the only ones where I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when I heard the news, because he was just like, he was really big. COVID is fake. COVID is.
My uncle was saying the same thing, and he got real sick. And I was like, that's what you get.
With my fam, it was, everybody knew it. A lot of us have medical backgrounds as well, doctors, paramedics, all that type of stuff. Even me in the Air Force, I was a medic for a couple of years. And, we heard about it. We knew it was an issue. But then, like, my mom was like, well, you going to fly home for Christmas this year? No, COVID. I'm like, y'all will see me again. Don't worry. It's just this is kind of new, and we don't know what we're dealing with right now. Well, your cousins are coming up. Do you know about, so-and-so's family? Do you know if they have COVID or not? What's going on? No, but everything's going to be fine. We're going to take our precautions. Everybody caught it. I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah.
My mama didn't play that. Nobody coming in this house. She put signs on the door, signs on the window. My brother ended up tested positive for it. She quarantined him. She wouldn't let us clean nothing. She cleaned everything the whole time. She wouldn't let us do nothing. And like, she did not play.
That's smart, because
we did not get it.
It kept it away from y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And people thought I was doing too much by wiping stuff down from the grocery store. I was not touching nothing. I was spraying off everything. Oh, you doing too much. No, I'm not. Like,
and it was normal to us because I have an illness, so I get sick from everything. So I have to wipe everything down that I touch.
And I did good for the longest time. But then, like, last year, I got it twice. I was like, so you mean I got through the brunt of everything, all the chaos and everything, and then when stuff starts dying down, then I get it?
My mama said those numbers are climbing again.
Oh, yeah. My nephew has it right now. So possibility. I had it in January, so I'm just hoping that I still got the antibodies in me. So it's like, I'm playing,
One of my aunts has it right now. And it's
Get
crazy.
You some vitamin C.
It's crazy how she ended up getting it too, because so my grandmother passed away this year, like back in December. So my aunt didn't come to her funeral because she was afraid of COVID, so she didn't attend her funeral because of that. So after the fact, a couple months ago maybe, she went to a funeral for someone in her boyfriend's family, and she ended up getting COVID there. It's like the strangest coincidence. Like, you didn't come to your mother's funeral.
Right.
Went to someone outside of your family funeral and ended up getting the shit that you didn't go to your mother's funeral for, like that.
And that just could have been she was getting more comfortable with getting out in public.
Yeah.
That could have been that whole case. So
that's true.
I think everybody's getting way too comfortable right now, and it's gonna spread again.
Y'all
That's why
still,
they said it's not a pandemic anymore; it's an endemic because it's gonna be with us forever. So
y'all still wearing y'all mask and stuff?
I can say I don't.
No,
they don't work, so it's pointless. I'll just keep my distance from people.
The people that are sick need to wear the mask. That's the thing. I keep telling everybody: if you are sick, wear the mask. Not everybody else don't need to wear it. That's the only people that, if you feel like a little tingle in your throat, put on. You be good. Put on the mask.
If I'm in a big crowd or something, I might wear one. Like if I were going to a concert or something like that. But generally going to like Walmart or like somewhere like that, now I'm just like, I'm gonna be in and out.
I was already 6 feet before that. I'm 10 feet. Please don't come by me. I did not need none of that. Don't what
10 feet, man. I'm at home.
Yeah.
I'm at the house, so you gotta come hit them, infect me.
I will DoorDash some groceries. I shit you not. Right. I will go to the store for the things I know they're going to mess up on, but for the most part,
I can just like produce. That's the only
something.
thing I don't trust. Produce, I don't trust, but anything else,
produce and meat.
Yeah, because they don't pick them out right. They just get whatever.
Box stuff though, you pretty much hard to pick that wrong.
Yeah. Because there's certain marbling you need on a steak just to make it cook right. Anyways, I'm like, no, I gotta go to the store and pick this up myself. Speaking of that, I don't think I said my conspiracy theory either, the one that I hate the most. I think it would have to do with genetically modified organisms in your food. So it is a thing, yes, compared to what we had back in like prehistoric times and during the paleo eras and all that. Food has changed. We have learned how to crossbreed things. We have learned how to make things last longer. We have also learned how to give antibiotics to certain animals to make them less prone to diseases and illnesses. And then we consume that. A lot of people say that these things that we give people or we give animals will possibly harm people. If you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist that, the brother, he talked about this as well. And he's like, one of the things about genetically modified organisms and food and all that, if you look at it, it's made it to where the human body can digest things easier. Like, for instance, if you're eating like a big old cut of meat, like a steak or whatever, all natural, grass-fed and all that, and you're eating it rare or medium, it's going to take your body a lot longer to digest that and then get rid of it. Whereas if we were to do this back in caveman era when we were eating that raw and more natural, it probably would have lasted on you a lot longer and made you not feel as good either.
Right.
So some things needed to be changed.
I do feel like some things do. Like people, they say genetically modified. I'm like, I'm about to get these. Every time I pick up some grapes or some corn that look too pretty, I'm eating my genetically modified corn, my genetically modified grapes. And they finna be good because if they don't last longer, because I feel like when you buying produce and they spoil so fast, you're putting a lot of money in that. You're wasting a lot of money. You gotta throw it away. So it helps. It does.
We waste thousands of dollars a year when it comes to grocery shopping because of that logic. Oh, I need everything all organic. Well, technically, another thing you don't understand is organic is an umbrella term. And what you're getting as organic may not be organic because you still have pesticide treatment, which means it's going towards your produce and plants, which means it is still not all natural. Or there's something in there. You may have some seeds that you're not aware that have been like crossbred to be more perfect for something. Therefore, it's technically not organic either. So all these things,
I think
people don't understand.
Are rejecting science because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't understand the science behind it. And that's okay.
And instead of learning about it, they just put out a bunch of false stuff.
Exactly. Learn about it. Oh, can you believe this? It's like you break it down to
Bro, my sister sent me this thing about water. Somebody must have put some water in the refrigerator and took it out right before it got like that hard ice in it. You know how when you take a bottle of water out the refrigerator and you might as soon as it hits the air, it starts like that.
Oh yeah, that slushy. Yeah.
Oh, they put something in the water. Oh my god, I love when my drinks get like that and my water get like that. And she said, "You see this?" I'm like, bro, do you not know basic science?
Yeah.
Like, are you
So
serious?
what was really
You've never
funny
seen this?
on the food piece? Remember when Chipotle had like that E. coli and Listeria outbreak in their food and all that, and then people found out that their pigs were getting antibiotics and all that other stuff.
Hmm.
Well, during that time frame, they had a thing where they had a questionnaire, and it was like a survey where they were asking you, what do you know about the food that we give you? And you had like 10 questions. And if you got like, I think 9 questions right, you get a free burrito. My mom sent it to me, and she can only get 7 of the 10 questions, right?
Hmm.
Which is good. She's like, I still like Chipotle. I'm still going to go. I'm still going to get it. She's like, well, why don't you answer it or whatever? I shit you not. I had a free burrito every week for about 2 months. And I sent her the answers to the questions. She's like, well, how do you know all that? I'm like, because I kind of pay attention to what I eat. And if you remember, back in the day, I was a bit of a nerd. I'm like,
Not that
even
you
when it comes to the
remember.
little piggy, yeah, the little piggy, you could say it's all natural. I know that shit ain't natural, okay?
Right.
I'm like, I'm still going to eat it, though.
And it's also common sense to me, too.
Yeah.
Some of it is common where you would think that it was, because that ice thing was absolutely ridiculous, and I had to, I ain't gonna lie, I made her feel stupid, because bro, it's water, you put it in the freezer. What happens to water when you freeze it?
It makes ice.
And there are stages. It doesn't just go to water to hard ice.
Exactly.
Like, what? My mama used to let us do science project when we were little.
Exactly.
Maybe she
We need to start
wasn't
doing
here.
some science projects and understanding the experiments.
Right. Maybe she wasn't here during that time.
But
Because I was like, what?
I got something to say, but I'm gonna save it for the next segment.
No,
I'm gonna save
story time?
No, I'm gonna save it for the
Let's fix
it segment. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the Let's Fix It segment. I always say this wrong. What advice do you have for people to decipher what conspiracy theories to believe?
Don't shut the fuck up and go to work and go back home.
Google. Fucking Google.
Look it up.
I say that
the Illuminati control Google, dude.
Well, Google still has relevant information.
I say reject everything and then research it to make sure that it's true. Like, don't just reject it and never learn about it again and fact check. Reject it and then learn on your own about these things rather than. And also not YouTube. YouTube is good for some things, but y'all be going down these rabbit holes listening to these people that be sounding confident, and y'all be taking everything that they say as fact, and it's not fact. It's just an opinion.
Yeah.
And also know the difference between a fact and an opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of things that people say is an opinion. It's not a fact. If they cannot back what they're saying up by research, it's not a fact.
And then there's even an educated opinion on top of that. There's an educated opinion, your opinion. I just think this, and there's a fact. You know, like we have verified this. So I tell people to go find a reputable source for what you want to look up. But even then, trust and verify.
Exactly.
You need to get a couple. People are going to 123conspiracy.com and finding. Yeah, and finding whatever they like. Do you know that this information is not sourced from anywhere else?
Right.
Somebody is literally pulling this out of their ass, and you believe it.
And also, don't believe nothing, even if it is backed up by facts. Still don't believe it. Not to the point that y'all be delusional by the stuff that y'all believe.
Right.
And I feel like it's cool to know that something is true, but to not feed into it so much to it literally alters the way that you think about everything else.
Yeah.
That's when you become an extremist.
There's certain communities out there that are really good at handling this, so you don't so you understand what hearsay is, possible theories, and everything else. And that is, I don't know how many of you dabble in the crypto market, right? Crypto is very similar to the stock market. There are a lot of key figures out there that give predictions as to how they feel certain projects are going to go, and they will always tell you somewhere in the video, this is not financial advice, this is an opinion, right? And I know one thing for me is, because I dabble in that as one of my many hobbies, There are certain projects that I pay attention to, market trends, seeing it go up and down, hearing about different projects and potential and all that. But because these people, yes, they've dabbled in this market for a long time, they are still making assumptions as to how things are going to go. So we don't understand how the market's going to go. We don't understand what trends are going to happen. We don't understand if things are going to go up, down, or sideways, or stay, in a lateral plane. But with data previously and comparing that to how things are going to go, you can make an idea. Do you hold it? Do you sell it? But it's still just an opinion. Period.
Most things really are. You can't really, like, even with resources and about how things were, like, we could go look at certain things to tell you how things were in history. A lot of that stuff could have been fabricated too. So it's just what you choose to believe. But I feel like at the same time, you shouldn't be sitting here telling everybody else that they're wrong, their opinions are wrong, the way they think is wrong or whatever, because you feel like the way you think is acceptable and that's how it should be, because really nothing really right. We just a lot of people assuming a lot of
projecting
things.
your opinion onto somebody else. Look,
right.
If you want to go down a rabbit hole, you can go down a historical rabbit hole, and there's some stuff in this nation's history, and especially Black history, that is so dark that it should be a conspiracy theory, but it's true.
But it's true.
If you really want to go there, but y'all are diving off the board like flat Earth, and then they've been lying to us for so long. Are you stupid?
It's some stuff that be true, and some stuff that don't. I feel like my thing is, when it comes to all of this stuff, I feel like you should care to an extent.
Right.
Because I feel like some things people care about too much, things that we don't have to care about anymore, especially. It's like you can care to an extent, but when it starts to, like I said, affect the way that you think about everything else, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, you shouldn't allow it to consume you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to understand how not to make an intercession as well. You're right.
Right.
Because, like, literally, when it came to my little crypto conversation I had, I put that money aside a while ago. And I check on it, just to see, like, what notifications on my phone and all that, but I'm not constantly in that realm. It might just be, oh, things are going up. Well, what's causing it to go up? Go on Google. Okay, there's a project going on. Cool. We'll check it again in the morning or something.
Right.
You may see a couple of videos come out. You take a quick listen. All right, this guy seems to know what he's talking about, but I'm not going to do anything too crazy, because doing my math with my understanding, at some point in time, this amount may equal a significant, amount later down the road. I'm not looking at this as me becoming a day trader. I'm looking at it as me potentially having a nest egg maybe 2 or 3 years from now. So you're like, all right, whatever. Right. But it's not like, every waking minute I'm like, oh my God, I want $1 million. I want $1 million. I want $1 million. No, you're just like, all right, cool.
And you're not making irresponsible decisions because I think people be feeding into it, and then it becomes their identity, and
Facts.
They make decisions based off of the things that they're hearing from other people.
Facts.
You got to be careful about that.
Complete facts.
With that the woke community, like y'all be
Sambo wisdom. Yeah,
the hoteps. Yeah,
y'all be doing too much.
It's their whole identity. You not thinking right,
whole identity.
You want that double cheeseburger with extra cheese? Well, you can take that 99 cents and you can put that in an LLC, my nigga. What are you doing with your life? I want a double cheeseburger with bacon. What are you talking about? Shit, I'm hungry. Is that 99-cent LLC going to give me a return? Or am I just going to lose my 99 cents?
It's rooted in making people feel bad for the things that they're doing when they shouldn't.
It's literally think the way I think, and I'm going to guilt you into thinking the way I think.
Thinking the way I think. Yeah. And it be working on y'all. Because even when I think stuff, I question that junk so much. I like, is this really the truth though? And I feel like that's another thing too. It's about you too. About the point of having knowledge and gaining knowledge is for you to understand, of course, the world around you, but also yourself. And I feel like a lot of y'all don't really know how to make these choices on your own. So you listen to people that you respect or people that sound like they know what they're talking about, rather than trusting yourself. And I get it, because if you don't think that you're smart, or if you don't think that you know how to make good decisions, then what else? And I feel like a lot that's embedded in some of us, because that's our community. Never making decisions for ourselves, always somebody telling us what we should and shouldn't do, especially our parents, what we should and shouldn't do. So when you grow up, you start listening to everybody else too, rather than trusting you and trying to figure out yourself so you can know what to do to guide yourself through life. To me, that's the most important thing. A lot of this other stuff does not matter.
I think that's the biggest point that I think we've talked about on both of our separate podcasts before we joined, is think for yourself.
Think for yourself.
Be an individual thinker. Be your own individual. Stop getting caught up in groupthink. You don't have to. It's okay that everybody else is going over here. You could go right and be like, you know what? Yeah, I think they tripping. Let me.
All right, motherfucker. I'll be back here. I'll keep the engine warm.
Right.
Find a way to draw your own conclusion.
Yeah, trust your, because I feel like y'all be having a lot of self-doubt.
Okay.
And stop looking for people to validate your prejudices too, because I feel like that's what y'all be doing too.
There's always a community that can do that and back behind you just for either way. But some people look at it as a form of risk mitigation as well, especially those that aren't normally risk takers. If you see somebody that's gone through a similar situation and has failed, instead of asking the question, well, why was this not the way that you imagined, or what would you do differently this time? A lot of them are like, hey, I want to do this. And then the guy's like, no, man, don't even bother with it because it didn't work for me. Who's not to say that person's going to be the person to actually make it work, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not saying like...
My question every time is, why didn't it work for you?
Right.
Exactly.
What happened?
And that is a form of risk mitigation as well, because you're learning what didn't work for them. But a lot of people look at it as like, you hear the story and then you avoid it as the form of risk mitigation.
Right.
Yeah. But if you feel the drive and the urge to do it yourself, go ahead and freaking do it.
Right. And then it's okay to fail something. Like, even if you do fail, all you're doing is learning what not to do.
Exactly.
Stop being afraid of failures and stop letting your failures knock you down. You can fail, get back up, and try this again. It's cool. You can keep going. But yeah, I think a lot of that is rooted in fear too. People just being afraid of things, and like when they hear stuff or they go through stuff or somebody else went through it and it didn't work out, it puts more fear in them. So it's like, I'm not gonna do that because it didn't work out for them. And like you said, you could have been the person that it would have worked for, but because you took somebody else's experience and applied it to and allowed it to make a decision for you, now you don't know.
Right. I've never told somebody that, like, I say it didn't work for me, but it possibly worked. You should go try it.
Right.
And I will tell you why, I didn't like this because, A, B, C. And, but hey, that's you, that's me.
Exactly.
That's my thing. That's me. You can possibly get in. It works out like that for a lot of times. People, that's just wasn't my lane, but that's something that you could do.
Yeah. And for me, if I don't think it's going, if I feel like the person themselves probably is not going to go the distance for it to work, I will steer them in a different, like I would tell them, you should look this up, look that up, and see if you can make it work based off of those things. I'll like redirect them, like, try this, maybe you should try this, and maybe you should try that, and it might work for you.
Right.
Yeah, because like I know with me, early on in that nerd side, when Bitcoin was first announced, I thought about getting into it and everything. But like for me, I did the whole ask people about it, like, yo, man, what do you guys think of this? Because we were all playing in stocks at the time. And I was like, I think this might be something. And they're like, no, man, don't do it. It's a risk. It's software. There's nothing tangible to it. I was like, you got a point there. These are all young cats in the military trying to figure out how to make an extra buck or whatever. And I was like, whatever. So I cut myself short on that one. 5 years later, what do you see? It's like anywhere between $20,000 to $60,000. So I'm like, could have been a freaking millionaire. Over
I
$100.
dabbled a little bit in stocks and Bitcoin too. I still watch the market or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
digital
want to gain some
currency
more knowledge about it before
is the future, and you have to be able to take a risk. But I think just don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make a calculated risk.
Exactly.
You can afford to lose this $500 and be okay. Don't put if you all you got is 500. Don't put all your 500 into one thing.
Exactly.
That's
so my rule was whatever money I used is entertainment, and by entertainment I mean like clubbing, going to adult clubs, that type of stuff. During the pandemic, that's what I played with. I was like, normally a month, I put like, $300, $400 away just for play money or whatever, just to, act like I'm cool. And I was like, okay, well, I can't do anything because people are sick and dying. Well, what do I do with that $400? Well, I can spend it on other crap. Okay, fine. I'll play with it in here. And that's how that whole side of me started.
We gotta have
like COVID helped me buy my fucking house.
But I feel like that's how it should be too. Like when it comes to like whether when making decisions or whatever, you should have your stuff set up like that. Even if you don't have money, even if you can only save $1 out of your check every time you get paid, then that's still money that you have on the side. I feel like you should separate your things like that. Like you said, the play money, the savings, the bill money.
We really gotta have a podcast about finances too.
Even if you're broke, don't say I'm broke. I can't save nothing. That's a lie. Save a penny if that's all
you can find something. You can build interest.
Always
there's a lot on the finances part. A lot of banks, they have this like save your change program. Every time you swipe your card, they just round it up and then put that change to your saving account. And you be surprised how much you save just by that little thing. Ain't no month. Like, but you can do it for your bank. You don't trust the apps or anything like that. Because you didn't have it actually set up yourself too.
Right. It's a lot of resources. You just gotta use them. And don't be afraid to use your resources, but
don't be afraid to ask and question the resources.
Right.
Like when I went to buy my fucking house, when I was setting up the internet, electric, I don't care how long I was keeping that motherfucker on the phone. I'm gonna ask every dumbass question in my book.
When it comes to like all that stuff, I do tons of reviews. If I'm like, I want the fastest ISP with like freaking fiber optic internet and like God knows how many megabits so I can game and all that, I am looking at like 5 people. And I'm like,
I think that's the thing. People don't want to take that time.
The only one company came out here.
They don't.
Which
one? They settle for the low hanging fruit.
And you can do that in a relationship too. It might take you an extra couple hours before you make a decision, but at least you're making an educated decision. At least like you're getting the right information in to make your decision. But don't just make a decision because they say, like, for example, out here, HughesNet advertises itself as fast internet.
Fuck that.
I have FiOS here.
Do not get satellite internet. It's not fast.
Yo, you got hours that you're at Prime, and then you have some where they slow everything down. I'm like, there's fiber optic cables running through this house right now. Everything I do, from Xbox to gaming to streaming, is lightning fast. Period.
Like how hours quicker than that fucking goddamn internet.
You want to see porn at 8K? I got you, brother.
I unfortunately live in an area where we only have 1 or 2 options.
Yeah.
When you in the country too, they don't bring all of that stuff out here. They be like, oh, we're not going. And this crazy because they'll literally do people houses on like the road over, a couple of roads over, but they won't come to our house.
It's supply and demand a lot of time in those country areas. They want to know that they're going to get their return because it costs them a lot to build those.
If we asking for it, then
they should have did it in the area. I lived in Mississippi, but AT&T would not upgrade to 5G in that area. Period.
I don't know why they don't do it over here either.
It's because you guys are in a smaller market. You guys will get the benefit after it's tested and been benchmarked in other areas, but it's going to take a few years. That's how tech works. If you can get it into a major city first, like in Kansas City, Google was the thing, right? When Google went in there and they made fiber, because AT&T was like testing the area out as well, and they wanted to be a competitor, they gave people free access to it just to benchmark it. Out here in Virginia, Verizon is kind of the big contender for the fiber thing. So they already established all that. Cox was the other major competitor that they're dealing with. And I had both. I had Cox at one point when I was in my cottage out in like the woods and everything. And then when I got back into the major city, like I had the Fios thing, and I'm like, dude, I can game like crazy here. This is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
you know, finding who's going to be the big monopoly behind it, that's going to be a couple of years anyways.
When my brothers be on that game, and one of them, there's two. One of them is in the living room, one of them in their room. Everything else runs slow.
Nah.
There's a whole subject right there. Just I miss couch co-op.
I do too. I do too.
know. I think when I have kids, I want to be able to put them on a game. Beat their ass right there.
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
GoldenEye. N64. Just make it happen.
Bro, love to go to.
Oh, see, you can't start them on that. You need to give them, a little taste of having fun on their own before you destroy the soul.
Oh, I did that with my kid on the Dreamcast. We played Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He thought it was like the coolest Spider-Man.
I'm gonna whoop my kid ass
right away. I'm not building up to nothing.
No, you about
I think that's like the role of every dad in the house. It's like, I'm gonna beat this kid's ass.
I'm about to get every perfect and flawless victory possible. Flawless victory.
Say, my dad is 66 years old, and I'm a twin. I have a twin sister. Say, that man raised 2 kids right there. And he has this little game every year on Christmas. He comes up and he wants to give him a barrage on his arm. And the whole time he's calling you a bitch the entire time. Pussy bitch, I don't feel it. Chemo was harder than that. Come on, motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
Now, my dad's native, and this is where we get called a prairie N-word. Yeah, that's what my dad calls us. Be free range. I was like, yeah, I forgot about that on the list. Then my house, I just finally reclaimed, some actual ancestral land. It's 2 acres and a fucking goddamn train goes through it, but
Hey, you still winning though.
It was the white man's fucking goddamn original blacksmith shop, so I count that as your good jab.
Mm-hmm.
But back to my dad, the whole thing, like even to this day, we'll just put our arm down trying to arm wrestle that man, and that man went through chemo. His whole life he was a carpenter, a mechanic. He had one job where he was just 20 years old, throwing 60-pound bars into a metal furnace, making goddamn car parts. And that man has so many fucking stories. He's so strong at 66. That TikTok thing going around, like if you need to fix anything, beat your dad's ass. Right now, I'll tell you what, I'm still bringing it back.
I could be mine, but I can't be my mama. And I hope he see this clip too, because he saw it when I said it the last time. Oh, you can beat me, huh? Yep. My mom.
I can tell you, my dad had this one rule: no matter how confident you are, always bring a stick. Never know when you need a stick.
Right. Always have a weapon. Even if I got them hands, I'm gonna have my phone in it probably.
It's like
See, like I know my old man's a badass, but then the other thing is with me is I'm crazy, right? So,
right there with
like I used to go with him like on some of his bounties or whatever and play medic. So like if anybody was like getting hurt in those situations, I'd patch him up before somebody else got to him or whatever. I was like, don't think just because he kicked your ass, I can't kick your ass either. Although I'm smaller than him. I'm the fucking crazy one. I'm just trying to save your life right now. And they would just be like, oh. And then you try to trick it or whatever.
Really the fighting type, like he's gentle. He's like so gentle and peaceful. My mama.
No. Yeah, my mom was an ass kicker.
Like my mama.
Same.
And she don't look like it at all.
The funny thing about my mom,
she looks so nice though, for real.
She do.
She not a little woman, but she fuck anybody else. She don't care who it is.
My mom, honestly, all of the women in my family.
With my mom, you could be a 6'7" bodybuilder. She will still get in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just a fucking punch a 6 foot, 200-pound man, but be afraid of spider.
Mhm.
Yo,
Right.
those spiders can be scary as fuck, though.
Right.
Oh, have you ever seen a wolf hunter spider?
Yes.
They're huge.
We got those all
I
around
don't
my
think I've
land.
ever seen one. Not
Oh,
in real
fuck
life.
that.
Oh yeah, my first time I ever saw one as a kid, I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it is teleported. I would My dad was raising
I
spiders,
remember-
so all I think to teleporting was hit it.
So I remember like there was one day when I was living back in Newport News, I was coming out my back door to get the clothes that I had hanging up and everything. And this big old black and yellow spider decided to make my back porch like this playground for it. I opened that door and the first thing I see is that spider saying, "Hello, motherfucker." I scream. And like the person that was like maybe a block away from me was like, "Are you okay?" Echo. Yeah, it's a spider.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have those. No shit. Got my broomstick and knocked
mama
it off and threw it in the
scared
bush.
of every bug. She's scared of everything, bro. I used to give her heart attacks when I was a kid because I loved animals, and I would just walk around outside and like collect them and put them in a bucket. And I would come in the house and be like, "Mom, look what I got." She like, "Take me back outside." You don't know what type of animals they could be poisonous. I'm like, but it's not. Like, I'm good. Like, I picked it up and everything. And she looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what is wrong with you? Whose child are you?
Ready to move to the story time segment?
Yes, we can.
You want me to read it or you going to?
You can go ahead.
So, do you have a story of a time you got caught up in a conspiracy theory, or a time the conspiracy theory consumed you or brainwashed you?
Oh, goddamn!
I don't think I do.
Oh, you got one, Curator? Sound like you got one.
Yeah. So, do you kind of conspiracy theory? You know, if you date interracially and you tend to have a preference for only black women, you know, everyone's like, "Oh, it's a fetish." Like,
is that a conspiracy theory?
See, thing is, like, my mom is Navajo and German. My dad is Irish and you know, Adiji. It's like Potawatomi if you don't speak my language. But so we have a little mixture there, and you know, it's never been a issue for anyone in our family. And then outsiders are like, "Oh my God, how'd the German side handle it?" You know, Germany never had you know any problems with interracial marriage. Oh my God, how'd the Indians handle it? Oh, natives, but all right. You know, even if you want to go to the dirty part, when we get to the whole slavery part, natives are the ones like, "You're running away? I'm going to watch you, make sure you're not a trap. Okay, you're actually trying to get away? Okay, we good. You want to join us? You won't be black anymore, you'll be native, so you'll be free." But they're going to still want to kill you anyway, so like, eh. It's like long history of intermixing. You go on a reservation, you're going to find anyone as pale as me to as dark as anyone else. It's like, you know, and you know,
you
everyone
feel like it's in your blood to love us.
And then you just go on. You can go on the wider spectrum of sexuality. You got people who are like, you know, wholly gay, and people just accept that. People having one preference to, like, a certain demographic, whatever just clicks in the synapses. That's a fetish. That's, you know, oh, you have the fever. Oh, you just like them because they can sing. That bitch can't sing. You can't cook either. I cook. You can't cook. He's like, I taught her how to throw it back, but that's only in the room. She's virgin.
This guy, he's fucking awesome.
Oh, and people are like, "Oh, is that your first black?" I've been in more black women than sickle cell. I was like, I'm staying in this community.
Our community can't see me.
You made her laugh so hard she went off the thing.
I knew I was gonna get her. I fucking told you. I say when I can just say whatever the fuck I want. Like, I can't handle it.
We all unedited on here, and I can edit this little part out until she get back. I'll wait till she get back.
You love me, Boonie. I'm not gonna lie, that was my pickup line in college.
Really?
Like, man, I've been in more black women than sickle cell. What are you talking about?
It was
working. When you feel like me and you run other white people, they're like, "Oh, you're just trying to be black. I'm black than you." I'm like, I never said I was black for one, but one, I've been in more black women than sickle cell, and I stayed in the community. I don't just come in for every rap album.
You didn't come across black women that actually had sickle cell, huh?
I mean, I
Sorry,
just
I
don't
did.
discriminate on any color. I'm just saying. It's a
Okay.
vibe.
And I see, I stayed away from, the pale ones because I didn't want to accidentally fuck cousin.
I mean, that's understandable.
That's I have a twin sister, so this is sort of like you look on, porn, everything with white people porn, it's like stepsister, stepmom. Like, why do you want to fuck your family?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's the weird trend for whatever reason.
I just absolutely discriminate. I discriminate when it comes to dating.
Me too.
I think everyone does.
I date black.
But I guess that's not a fetish. They would say that it was racist, but I absolutely will not. White people.
It's a preference. I mean, like,
I don't fault anybody who does. Just for me, I just don't see myself.
I'm good.
But Boonie, it's like with me, you never have to pay for Indian hair again.
You are not white. I don't.
There you go.
White, bro. No, I am not talking about you. And
also, I'm just trying to
I would consider a POC. It's just white. Hair. POC, like person of color.
Person of color, fine, but white.
I think I've dated like every color under the sun. I think I have, and if not, I was pretty damn close.
I don't think nothing's wrong. I think it becomes a fetish when I don't know.
Let's say you like the hair, but you ain't willing to take it down.
You see it, you know it.
I think when it becomes an obsession, and you're like, the only thing I'm going to date is like, let's say, Chinese women. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I want to taste. That's the only thing I want to bust in. And that's when it becomes an obsession.
It's rooted in stereotypes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's.
I told you I have a friend that I'm going to invite him on, and that's what he says. He only dates white girls because, and every time he says because, I know it's some. It's always me off. It's always something against black women, and it's just like, bro, what is wrong with you?
When it's rooted in stereotypes, and it's only like you're going out of your way to go after that, and it's rooted in stereotypes, that's when it's a fetish.
What gets me is the whole like, oh, people saying black women ain't shit. Your mama black, your sister black,
mm-hmm.
Your daughter's black.
They don't like
a lot of times they have mommy
issues with their moms. That's why they feel like that.
Yeah. But they have to realize that their mom was just one woman. Right. There are tons of them out there. And yes, I admit, you see the videos out there and you see things that don't give credit to certain people. But I mean, that's only a subgroup of people. It is not every individual. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like one of my followers, she had a video today where it was like two ratchet chicks just rapping about just ratchet shit, right? And, we're all like, really? Why would you do? Why? And of course, people are eating it up on the original video.
Is this Sexy Red and Sukihana?
I think so.
Because people love hating on them, and I love them so much.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that's not every person. We all know this. And we're just like, this sucks.
They gotta be allowed to have their lane just like everybody else.
Too, especially when it comes to black people hating them, that's also a little self-hate too.
It is.
I say my dating experience is like, it's like people like, oh, you're black, but like, when I go to bed with her, I'm like, you're my black, girlfriend. I'm like, no, you're just my girlfriend, or you're my girl. I'm not thinking of her skin color. Over 5 years of relationship.
Yeah, I typically stay away from people who say you're or do you like if a white guy comes into my DMs and the first thing he says is, do you like white guys? Or if they call me chocolate or something.
That's a trigger right there.
Yeah.
God, yeah. What about your Nubian princess?
I literally hate stuff like that. Like,
you're my chocolate queen. All that shit.
Queen.
Well, you a pretty
chocolate queen slay. Can I get your number?
Have you ever got do you like white chocolate?
Yes. I actually recently got it, and I said I actually prefer chocolate, just like milk chocolate. And then he ain't never commented on nothing else that I posted. I was like, well,
I'm not gonna lie. What if I go one time just blindside her? Okay, if I was a cracker, what kind of cracker I'd be? She thought about it. Chicken cracker. I'm like, why? It's like, you seasoned.
There you go.
It's like, I'm casting, but I have seasoning. It's like, it just even do I want to let it out.
Before we go to the next one,
you work in some fields, you get like the most redneck of rednecks. Because here's the thing with fucking white people. They are very comfortable around their own, and they just without any fucking thought until you dissent against that. Then they just start looking at you like, his hair? Is that dye or is that real? Is he Hispanic or Asian? What the fuck is he? And there's one town around here where the only thing that worse than being black is being native. So if you're a native or black woman, you basically hit before you hit town. Because there's a goddamn stereotype that, all natives are rich because of the casino. I ain't seen a fucking dollar. Not my tribe.
Before we move on to the next one, I guess I'll chime in. I'll chime in for my conspiracy that I was consumed in. I think Boonie know what I'm gonna say. It was the Bible. That's what I was consumed.
Oh,
yeah, I was the biggest person in that cult.
You was a Bible thumper?
Yes.
bro.
Very, very bad. Because I
literally cannot picture that.
When I was younger, I was indoctrinated. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you gotta allow people time for growth. Because I've really grown. Like, I now I have the knowledge and everything. Like, okay, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is what? Why did I believe that? There was a time where I thought women had their place because the Bible said so. But it was literally
the Bible was always fictional.
It was literally conflicting with what was inside of me, which was the crazy part because I always saw women as, like, y'all are strong, y'all are awesome and everything, but the Bible tells me that y'all are relegated to this and you can only go so high, like in a company that, black woman could be a shift manager, but never the CEO or anything else. If you listen to the Bible, you can do everything else, but.
Or preachers, but a lot of people be going to churches where women are preachers.
Right. I thought that was crazy. And then I had to question myself, like, why do I think this way? Like, why? It's because this was brainwashing me. So it took years because, like, I'm gonna start sharing them to you too, like posts that I did when I was, 2009, 2010, around there, where I was still into that mindset.
I used to go to church and stuff, and I was always interested in the Bible. Like I said, as a book. It was just like a book to me that I would read all the time. I never used it against anybody until I got into my last relationship, and I was using that junk as a weapon. When I tell you, because my ex was one of those people that was supposedly holy and like you're religious and all of this stuff, but you're not following any of these things that it says that you should or should not be doing.
So you was calling him out on it?
I was calling him out. I was very hard on him about it. And I'm like, the topic of sex, this is what made me straight away, like, put the whole book down or whatever. Because I literally was one of those people who tried to live by it. I can't say that I was consumed, but I'm a good person, basically. I'm not going to follow every single one of the rules because I feel like it's impossible. But I was a good person. I'm trying to do everything right. I'm trying to be a good person. And then I get in this relationship and there's this guy who's always pressuring me. And it wasn't even pressuring me. Well, he was pressuring me about sex. And it wasn't even really the fact that I didn't want to have sex. I didn't want to have sex. It was him. And I would make up so many excuses for why I couldn't do it. And the Bible was my biggest one.
You hit him with the fornication one, didn't you? Be like, the Bible.
Right. But it worked backwards on me. It was a thing that made, like, I became the person that was like, this is crazy. And he became I'm holy, like I'm to get me back or whatever. But it flipped on me when I was using it as a weapon. I ended up using it as a weapon on myself. So that's what made me like put it completely down. Because I did believe, like, all of the Psalms, the book of Psalms, the Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, those were two books that I loved because they were inspirational.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can live by in there. I'm not saying
those were the things that the other stuff I didn't care about, but
there's
those
a lot
were
of
the
wisdom
things
in that stuff. Yeah,
that I liked, and I ain't gonna say live by. I tried, but I'm human.
I'm not saying everything is BS. It's just the way that we're taught it is, and the way that they and there's some books that need to be taken out. So
yeah, I feel like if you're gonna use it to inspire and motivate people to be good people, yeah, but not in that. They got two different ways of doing that in the Bible. One is guilting and shaming you into doing things, and the other is by showing, just by showing you good people in the Bible, basically. And that's what I gravitated toward, the things like that.
Paragons.
But yeah, I definitely use it as a weapon a time, well, for him, and then it backfired. And now I don't know the last time I read the Bible, to tell you the truth. I used to read that junk over and over again because it was a book to me. It's like any book, and I love reading.
Read so much of it, and I knew scriptures back and forth, and I could quote stuff that was relevant to a situation that I felt was relevant to a situation. But you know,
you was a real Bible thumper
because it was indoctrinated in me. I literally had one of my punishments one time was to memorize a chapter of the Bible, or write down, like, you know, like we had standards back in the day. So you had to write this Bible chapter 50 times.
Dang.
I personally love that punishment because that sends most people away from the Bible.
It does.
You give that to a kid and they ain't like, mm-mm.
I don't feel like I had anything that was brainwashed because I accepted things to an extent. I would reject first, and then I would find if I found my way to it. If I felt like it was important enough. But I was never an extremist. I never used things against people unless it was beneficial to me, which was in that last relationship.
So what the Bible was used for.
Right. But I would take the good parts out of things and leave the parts that didn't resonate with me. And that's what I did with the Bible. But as far as like something consuming me or brainwashing me, I don't think I've never had nothing like that because I never wholeheartedly believed anything, if that makes sense. Not necessarily meaning that I don't think nothing is real, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I was never, you know, y'all know how people be.
Yeah, definitely.
I was never one of those people. I just knew how to take the good out of things, and the things that didn't resonate, or the things that I felt made me a bad person, like judging people and stuff like that, I would leave that alone.
To cut the tension, I really can't see you as a Bible thumper. I swear, next time I'm gonna have my camera off and wait till you start, announcing everybody. I'm just gonna, turn my camera on. I'm gonna be Jesus right here. Just.
I mean, I could
imagine it either.
I have so much of that stuff in me that like it's difficult, like, because like I grew up in it. My parents met in church. I spent hours and hours at church for years until I got to a certain age, and then I felt guilty at a certain point, and I was like, everything that's bad happening in my life is because I left the church. It's just like, no,
the church could have came to me. The Jehovah's do that all the time.
I'm the lovable heathen in my family. Everybody knows it. Even my preacher of a mother. They just know, like, yeah, he's the weird one, but he's the good kid out of the three. So it is what it is.
I just don't like the people that try to force it upon you, and it's like that black and white way of thinking when it comes to it, where especially it's the black and white is the Bible. Well, if it's not in there, then I don't abide by it. Like that weirdo guy that you had sent me on TikTok, let's look at how the Bible says dating kids should be. The Bible says if she's of age, the Bible people was marrying 12-year-olds.
If she's had her blood, she is fertile ground to be sown.
What's wrong with you?
But the laws in our country state you have to be of a certain age of consent. Exactly. That's the difference.
Go to Mexico.
And it's crazy too because the Bible say to abide the law of the land.
Exactly.
Not this book. Follow y'all laws, but people still use the Bible to justify the sick things that they do. It's like it literally tells you to abide by these laws, and you're saying
follow the laws of the land, and it even says render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. That means if you believe that, do what you're supposed to. They telling you to do. Live by the laws of them. Do what you're supposed.
Exactly.
No, the Bible says and this, and this. It's like, what's wrong with you?
I'm a sovereign because I follow God. No, you're not.
You're not. You sound like an idiot, and you get yourself in meaningless arguments for nothing. If that's what makes you happy, I'm all for it. As long as you're not trying to force people that don't want to do that into something that they don't want to do. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody has their own right to pursue happiness, no matter what it is, as long as it's legal. As long as it's legal and does not come harm to others.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I live by. As long as you're not causing, and if I don't like it, I don't have to be a part of it. That's why I tell everybody else: if you don't like what somebody else is doing, then don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Don't go watch them do it. If you don't like that, then you don't have to be there.
Exactly. Exactly.
At all, but people will force those opinions on people too. Like, I don't like it, so I'm gonna mess up everybody else's day. That's not how it works. Just keep scrolling. If you don't like what somebody posts, keep it moving. What's the point of stopping to make them feel bad about it because you don't like it?
But you're not gonna make me feel bad about it. If you don't like
Me
something that I
neither.
say or do, you're not gonna, and you're gonna get. I'm gonna comment back and hurt your feelings.
Facts.
So right there.
Anybody else has any stories of a conspiracy theory that consumed them?
No, I don't.
Well, I can say that I wouldn't say that anything consumed me, but I did get like really into like all of those, as we were talking about the Illuminati and all of that stuff. When I was talking about Jaguar Wright and all the stuff she was putting out there about the industry, that was like some of the most interesting stuff to me. And I got
Oh, trust we know you informed us everything.
yeah, like I really got into that at a point. But then it just became like one of those things where I felt like she was just doing it because she literally got kicked out of the industry. So she just started putting out secret stuff because she was pissed about being kicked out. And then like, that's what broke me away from it. I started to see through it.
Yeah, it's also about the intentions that people have for doing that stuff, for putting it out. Because I think people just look at what they're doing and not why.
Right.
And it's also because people be wanting to believe the worst about people. It ain't necessarily because they really believe it. They want to align with something that is spreading hate or something that's negative. People love negativity, even though they say they don't.
You can literally make up a rumor right now about anybody in the industry, and there'll be somebody, I knew it. I knew it. They're waiting in the wings. That's why they jumped on Lizzo like they did.
Bro, I literally saw somebody that said that they were happy about her downfall because she was fat. Because somebody asked them in the comments, he was like, oh, I've been waiting for this. I'm so happy that she's having
exactly. I've been waiting for this.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who the fuck the bitch was. I still can't put a picture to her. And once I heard, the whole, sexual assault shit, I was like, good for her downfall.
But
like, I just ain't playing the whole assault shit.
Somebody in the comments was asking him like, why? Like, I'm curious. Why do you feel like this? Why did you feel the way that you feel? He was like, oh, I didn't like her ever since she did that thing at the basketball game.
Like, what did she do? But wear something that you didn't like.
Wear something that you didn't like. You hate somebody because
you're just mad because it turned you on. You didn't know how to feel about it.
Because of some clothes she wore that you felt like she shouldn't have.
I think that's exactly what it was.
That is crazy.
They saw it and they got hard and didn't want to say that to anybody. It was like,
thank you.
But you could have just kept it to yourself. You ain't had to come on the internet and tell us nothing or spread no hate. But people really, literally don't like her because she's fat.
I didn't believe that stuff when it came out, especially the more stuff came out. I was just like, that's most of that. What you're describing is practice. Like, what?
Right.
Have you ever had to train for something?
And they would say body shaming or whatever. And I just assumed that Lizzo, even at her size, works a lot harder than a lot of people. And it's like, keep up with me. Like, what is you doing? You slacking off. You need to keep up.
Exactly.
Type of thing.
if you've ever done anything like band or choir, or you had one of those people that is on your ass, you know how that it is not pretty, but the results that you're gonna get is nice. Because I've been singing in choir to the point where I got hoarse. Nope, we're gonna do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, we're gonna get it right.
Yep.
And I see Lizzo as the person that's not going to take no.
And
like
unfortunately, she's somebody that the public don't like because she's fat. There's literally no reason for people to hate Lizzo other than that. She just dares to be somebody who is comfortable in their skin, and you don't like it because you don't like her skin.
People do not like people being comfortable in their own skin. It's not something that people enjoy. Like
people hate it. They hate it.
Now the new thing is people saying, well, she's encouraging people to be fat. Like, when did she ever encourage anybody to be fat?
She's just being her.
McDonald's did that in 1920.
And you know what's crazy? Lizzo is vegan.
Yeah.
She's literally healthy. How is she encouraging people to be fat?
There's a lot of people that's half her size that can't do a lot of stuff that she does because they don't know what it takes to perform on the stage.
They don't.
Like, having the energy and dancing and singing, that shit is hard.
Especially doing what she do. She played the flute and everything.
The breath control you have to have, period, to play the flute by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now.
Like, if I would pull up pictures, from when I was in tournaments versus when I wasn't in tournaments, because martial artist for 15 years, when we get down to a fighting weight, it's like, oh yeah, we'll cut, we'll chisel. But when we're not in tournament, we put on 20 pounds.
I was the same way. I did martial arts for so many years too.
It's fucking awesome. But yeah, the whole thing is like, I with my age right now, I'm like, if I was, 20 years old again, I'd be like, I'd try to stay at that cut weight the whole time. So I always look sexy. I'm like, nah, I'd rather have that, extra 10 pounds, 20 pounds for if I'm ever starving.
And then, like, even in the military, you did the same thing because you had to get measured and weighed like twice a year. That month beforehand, you're cutting everything. But day after, like, all your fitness assessments are done, Starbucks, I shit you not. 1,200 calorie Frappuccino, that was my go-to right there. I'm like, all right, get to be unhealthy again for a few months before I have to start all over.
Like, me and my twin were fighters, and after we would get out here, we'd be hitting fucking Mickey D's. What do you want? I want 3 Big Macs and a large fry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just for me, bitch. She hasn't ordered yet.
Golden Corral was a cheat day afterwards, too, dude. It's like, I know it's shit, but I can at least eat anything I want.
It's like, hell.
I feel like Golden Corral is okay. Golden Corral is underrated. It used to be, at least. I don't know about now.
And I say it was big back in the day, but out in my area, it's very country ass, and all of them are closing down.
I think we have 2 left here in like Hampton Roads, but the one I used to go to, like right on Coliseum by my house, that one was actually the best one out of the 3. The other 2 I haven't really messed with. But
I think we still got ours.
I'd take my kid there and be like, just have whatever. You want ice cream? I don't care. I'm gonna get a steak.
Like we have 2 Popeyes in my area, and one's in a predominantly all white town, and one's in a predominantly all black town. The one in the all black town is way better.
Yeah,
I've never had Popeyes.
That's a shame.
I don't eat fast food like that, so I haven't had.
We don't eat a lot of it, but
from restaurants.
I'm gonna say right now, you ever get a chance to go to a very ghetto ass restaurant where they'll get a gum out across that counter and beat your ass? That's the one you want to go to.
Oh yeah, and then like get you a gallon of that freaking sweet tea there along with like your 20-piece of chicken or something like that. You'll be good to go.
And there's some spots like that in LA that's a sign that the food is good there. If they got bulletproof glass around the.
So what was it? Kobe or LeBron who crashed into I'm not big into sports. That fucking blew up in a helicopter or something like that. Kobe. Some basketball player.
Kobe.
Oh, it was Kobe. I say thank you. Me and my girl were in fucking Popeyes, and that came across TV, and all the workers stopped, and there was a Mexican guy in front of us, and he decided to use the hard R and tell them to get back to work. And they looking at me, I'm like, it's Pepe over there. Look You fuck my guy, and I point to my girl. I'm one of the good ones.
I'm seasoned, basically, is what you were saying.
Hey, he wants to get up on the counter, being 5'2", get on a stool, slapping down at people looking at the ball game when it gets canceled out because someone crashed. And I don't follow good sports like that, so I couldn't remember the fucking name. And I was like, I know I'm the only the other palest thing in this fucking shop. I'm like, ain't gonna be me. I'm not getting my ass kicked today. Let's say you can be a fighter like but you be an army, you know all the fucking thing about overwhelming force.
Oh yeah. Nope.
If nobody,
That's a word. That's a word, curator.
Oh, I know it's a word. Like how I like the old girl back mother, people like, oh, you just want to say it. I'm like, I'd never say it.
No, I'm talking about what you just said about
the
being
fairy
a
version of
fighter.
it, but
oh yeah, there's some people that believe that they could beat anybody though. This is like
I'm talking about the fighter thing, because fighter people who are trained, like you said, think they can beat anybody.
No, I'm not worried about me accidentally killing somebody.
It's not like the movies. You can't fight 10 people, bro. It's not
gonna, you might be able to get through a few of them, but you still gonna get your ass beat at the end of the day. That's just all that is.
The thing in the movies that they always show, you're not actually fighting more than one person at once. If everybody is coming at you at once, look, you take this arm, you take this arm, you take this leg, it's over for you. There's nothing you can do. You can.
So yeah, I had to fight 2 guys with knives once, and I got my neck slit. Yeah.
Somebody gonna end up getting you good. Even if you do win, somebody gonna end up getting you good. You're gonna be.
No, yeah, they're gonna get you when you're all tired out and everything.
Exactly. Eventually, you're gonna tire yourself out. Something's gonna happen that the odds are not in your favor.
That's why that's why I be telling people a lot of the time, especially when we be talking about anime. Like, if you fight somebody who is not good at fighting, but they can take a beating and they don't stop, you got to keep fighting them. Even though you beating them, they can take it. They can get back up and be like, that was nothing. You ain't did this, whatever. They come back at you. You got to fight them again. Who winning?
It's like you have to take on multiple opponents. Ideally, it's 2. You want to go on. You want to try to take out the first guy as quick as possible.
Eventually, you're gonna lose that fight.
Like, you're gonna get tired. Eventually, you're gonna either get tired and be like, you know what, you got it. I'm not about to keep going back and forth with you.
See, that's why I love
they're gonna tire you out and then get you good.
Because I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's one of his early fucking movies. You see him and like 5 guys. He runs up a staircase, and I know exactly what he's doing. He's running space in between those motherfuckers. He's seeing who has the most endurance, who's gonna get a fucking win, who's gonna get winded. He's trying to linear them out so he can do one at a time, and he just keeps fucking running.
Chasing somebody down to fight them, you crazy. I'm never chasing nobody to fight them. I'm not losing.
No, if y'all come at me and I start running, you need to be scared of what I'm running to. Because I probably ain't gonna be anything on my wall. It's gonna be clack, clack, motherfucker. I say I might be able to use all these knives, but I got the power of overwhelming force, a wall of lead.
A collection that's been built over years.
You want to move to the What the Hell segment?
And honestly, right now with all of you, Boonie's gonna scare me the most because she's with all of you. And you're expecting her. So she's instantly like, this bitch got a knife in her somewhere. It's probably poison too. Now, Will, he's over there quiet. He got the gun. He's running the crew. I know that. He ain't saying shit.
And his arm's strong. He's strong because he got cerebral palsy. And he is stronger than what people might think.
Oh yeah, well you don't have the inhibitors anymore. Because of my fucking jumping, I didn't have the inhibitors in my right hand. Well, the ulnar nerve severed. It's fucking weird when you can't feel your hand. It's like, to this point, I can only feel needles in the back of my hand, but it's like when I pick up a glass or something, like all my cups are metal fucking now. Because I've accidentally crushed shit in my hand. It's like, I consciously think about how I'm holding it.
That's how my cousin had a stroke. That's how his hand is pretty much, he don't have feeling in it either. But if he grab you with that arm,
yeah, he doing it at full strength.
You short. But moving on to the Wealthy Health segment. What are some sources you've come across that teach about conspiracy theories in a healthy way? Or that talk about them? What?
Snopes. It's a fact checker.
Oh yeah.
And it'll totally give you all the information about it, like the origin of where the theory came from and if it's true or not.
Very much so unbiased. Very much so unbiased. They don't lean one way or the other.
Entertainment documentaries. Like there's one I saw was about mermaids, and they put up a whole scientific front. And if you will wait to the credits, the first thing it says for entertainment purposes only, it's like basic fiction. It's like, yeah, this is just really for your wine. Like, you know, most computer therapists on fucking like YouTube are just looking for views.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like if I wanted views, I just go on YouTube. All white people are Native Americans. I mean, you know how many views I'm gonna get on that? It's like everyone who just wants to jump on the bandwagon up
Some
till it
people
starts
gonna
burning.
be out there to drag you now. You gonna get views for the wrong reason. They're gonna drag you in the comments.
Well, that's why this podcast blows up. I'm automatically gonna be the first one hit. He's just there to be white. He's Native. Nah, he's just a token. He's there to say cracker and white people.
A token?
Yeah, that's why I said I was the token with the mostest.
We don't tokenize people here.
I know.
Exactly. That's not the environment we run in here.
Yeah,
People are welcome to come on, but we're going to check you if you want to be stupid.
Did you see what that intro said? I know it's a joke, but I'm saying to the people.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do it every time.
I was saying to them, not you. We don't talk to people here. You see what that intro said? Black people. But we're going to invite everybody to come so they can
He's been a regular. What the fuck's going on here? See, that's the thing that's going to happen, isn't it? I'm on every fucking episode like, the fuck's going on here? Episode 2 is the best. He wasn't here.
Actually, don't have any sources that I could think of.
I don't either. I just kind of feel like you have to use the resource I have is discernment.
I feel like
use your discernment.
I feel like the Royal Genius platform will be once our videos get up, we will always discuss stuff in a hella
it gives you a good sense of people's motive.
Yeah.
I go, why are you going online looking at this? Why are you talking about this? What are you getting out of it?
Right.
By wanting me to, entertain this. Why do you want me to follow you? Why do you keep telling me to smash the subscribe button?
Exactly.
You're supposed to be an educator.
It's the intent. It's the intention behind it. Like you said, the why. Why are they doing it? The goal of it.
That's like my TikTok. I said, no one judge me if you see me doing this shit on TikTok because I got bills, bitch. And I go, ooh, roses. And someone send me money. I'm gonna do it. I entertain people's advancements for money.
Bro, I'm already tired of that AI thing. Please stop.
Me too. That's why I'm thinking about jumping on it.
What was bad was some of my voice acting buddies have been doing it too. And like I've caught them as I've been like mid scrolling at night going like, oh my God, now you guys are on the train.
That dude, he's about to go. I saw a few like that too.
I saw a dude in LA doing it at a place I've been to in LA. It's called the City of Lights. It's like a bunch of like lights. And he was dressed up as Miles Morales, right? And the funny part was while he was doing it, people saw him. And then it was like, oh shit, dude. You could tell they were drunk too. It was nice how, oh shit, dude, you're Miles Morales. And he kept trying to like be in character while he was doing it.
Those videos.
Huh?
I'm coming there as Jesus.
What you say, William?
Said those videos are hilarious.
Oh, talk about the AI.
Trying to be characters that they are. That shit is hilarious.
Oh, there's a few people that are fucking hilarious.
I can understand the cosplay anime community because like that's mostly a lot of the things that we see in those things. Yeah. I get it if it's like that, but like if you're not a gamer or you don't watch anime and you're not cosplaying, why are you doing this?
I think it'd be cool if you cosplay and change outfits in the middle of your life and act as the character that you are. Like
I think that works for those communities, but like otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, even with me, you're not going to see me do it just because I think that's too cringe for what I do. I'm like, I'm like in everything on my TikTok page. No.
And also, people have been playing into stereotypes too while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I've been seeing black people coming up when the little chicken is saying,
yeah,
I'm black, I love
bring that one up.
Oh,
it pissed me off too.
The one when they bring up the raccoon.
Watermelon, like
Nah.
If you don't stop cooning on this internet,
Right. What are you doing?
I do not condone cooning. No.
Because like all those videos are saved like on the server too and everything. It only takes like one person to hack into your account and post all your most embarrassing shit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And people gonna be seeing you acting fool all over the internet, really? Or someone screen recording us.
Please believe as this transition happens, the first TikTok hack is coming.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about? I got friends that have already been hacked on TikTok, either through Arcane or voice actors and stuff like that.
I don't really got nothing on there. I gotta go check my
your thing.
I gotta check my what the thing called? Drafts. I gotta check drafts.
I ain't got nothing in there. That's
man, if I see one of your videos on there, I'm just gonna type hacking it now. You're gonna know what it means.
My drafts are just like, me doing voice acting script reads and screwing them up and going like, God damn it, like every couple of minutes or something.
I think mine is just me doing transitions.
That is my thing when I'm recording something, bro. There's so many times. Fuck.
Because I get dyslexic at times too, so like when I'm reading a script, some words switch around and stuff.
That's a creative thing, though. It's got to be like you checking yourself.
Dang it, Boonie.
I start talking to myself. I'd be like, what are you?
Me too. I'd be like, come on. Like, you know
pulling hair, going like,
right? I know the thing now.
You're right. I know this.
Like when she had to turn her camera off.
I'll step up with a word, be like,
I'm like,
you're trying to be funny, but you're too over funny, so you got to redo it again. You're like, no.
You can't use Geechee as an excuse for why you messing up these words. Because I'll do that in a minute. I'm Geechee, so don't hold me for pronouncing this wrong.
I'm like, you've gone through too much schooling not to get this shit right or something. Like, all that's been said. I told a couple of people, at some point in time, I will put like a blooper reel up on TikTok just so you guys can see like all my stupid moments when it comes to this stuff.
My blooper moments is just me twerking.
Yeah.
my BTS is just me twerking.
My bloopers would be hilarious because depending on what I'm doing depends on what the name I'm calling myself. So like I'll call myself by all of my names. The name like my first name, my middle name, and like so if I'm rapping, it's probably Royal. Or if I'm writing his Eldwin, so I'm just like I'm gonna just go through my name.
Elwin,
you're just like when you're in character, you're like, God damn it, so and so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
How we all
and me, I'm just like,
that's actually hilarious.
It's like the beginning of the podcast. We're all very refined, and then we just kind of slip back into our personalities.
Right.
I'm looking forward
you came for enlightenment. No, we all just hanging out.
I'm looking forward to this next segment. Let me use the restroom. Let's take a quick thing before we go. We got 2 more segments left, y'all.
Oh yeah, well let's refresh my water then. Good. If we about to do that.
All right, I'll re-up my jug over here. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Same.
Plugging my charger.
What's that called in the old days? On the movies, what they call this? The
intermission.
Intermission.
Yeah, I was about to say the intermission.
Yeah.
Intermission.
All right, stand by.